Hi, it's Paula here from Me, My Dog's on MS. I'm here, and this is our second podcast, and I'm going to introduce you to the hidden creative partner of mine, which is Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi guys, how you all doing? Yep, you don't usually see me. I'm the one behind the camera and I'm the one in the editing booth, so to speak. So yeah, you don't usually see me, but here I am.
There we are. So we met 10 years ago, didn't we? At the Den.
Oh yeah, Dylan and Woody, what, they're both 12 now.
Yeah, well, they
Dylan's
are.
birthday was in January, so they're both 12. So yeah, 10 years. Still can't get rid of her.
And from that meeting, I think it kind of sets the tone for Woody because Woody, he was we hadn't long had him. He was new from PADS, the Perthshire Abandoned Dog Society. So thank you, PADS. Um, and he was quite naughty. and it,
I mean, what was he? 40?
we
40?
got him at 45 kilos, and he had lost a bit by the time you kind of met him with my husband in the Den.
He'd
But
lost
then
it,
I,
but he still had puppy paws because he wasn't walked, and his paws were so soft. And I just remember him, he wasn't staggering, but he was huffing and puffing. But that only
yeah,
lasted, what, 3, 4 months before he got him down?
yeah, absolutely. And that he was, but yeah, no, he's been a great addition to kind of my life and that. And Suzanne met me when I was newly diagnosed with MS. So she's been on my MS journey all the way through from start to finish to where we are now.
The thing about Paul and her MS is I don't see it at all. When we're out walking, she's got her walking poles. Now, I live in Scotland, I live in rural Scotland, and it's not uncommon to see people with poles. It's only when we go out someplace, come on, let's go Dundee, we'll go round the shops. And she pulls out a walking stick, and I'm like, why you got a walking stick? Because I just don't compute. And when we're filming or just walking the dogs as usual, I'll be halfway up the hill thinking, why are you taking your time? And I just don't think about it.
Yeah, but we've continued our friendship all the way through, haven't we? We've been walking and talking about everything, anything of what we're going to do when we win the lottery, etc., etc., etc. To sumo
Just,
now,
I
which
was
is
gonna
the
say,
latest
it's
fad.
my fault Paulo likes sumo. It is really my fault. I love boxing. And my dad took me to see Rocky 3. What was that? I must have been 12, 13 or something, early 80s. And I went through the Tyson era. But now it's all YouTubers and retired boxers. I mean, you had Tyson boxing was it a few months ago, and all he did was this. I got 30 seconds in the first round. I'm like, no, no, this is really bad. And then I'm thinking, well, MMA, no, couldn't get into that. WW whatever, nope, couldn't get into that. And then one day sumo popped up, and like Paula said, back in the 80s here in the UK, we had sumo on the TV, and everybody remembers the big Hawaiian nicknamed the dump truck. Sorry, I can't remember his Japanese name, but I just started watching it, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God. And somebody because I was watching lots of videos about sumo, and somebody says, pick one wrestler and follow him in the basho. And that's what I did. And now, I could sit here and go, well, there's such and such, go through. I was mentioning it to a friend of mine. She goes, you could be saying whatever you want. I do not understand a word you're saying, even if it is in Japanese. And
Yeah,
that was
but
it. That was sumo.
there we are. But this is what me and Suzanne do. We walk and talk and just really good friendship. We have takeaways. You look after the dogs if we're going away or anything like that. And it was just a really chance meeting in a there you are. I don't know, kindred spirit on the same. Well, we were walking, so there we are, and that's where we've been. And we started. Why did we start Me, My Dogs in MS then?
Well, been thinking about it for a while because you were saying about MS online on YouTube and you felt it was a bit medical in a sort. And of course, I'm not on looking at MS sites, but you were saying it just felt a bit too clinical.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was, and that because I'd had MS for a while, and I look at all the sites, and as we all do, because we want to know. Well, I'd like to know about what new things are going on in the world of MS, in medical discoveries, and there will be a cure one day, but not in my lifetime. But we live in hope. But there was nothing that kind of gelled with me. I lose my attention. I get lost in people's, if they've got a very droll voice. I get lost in the
The dear Scotsman.
you know I get lost in the conversation because I'm just listening to the monotone voice. I need something to kind of keep me engaged, and so just because I'm slightly odd at times, neurodiverse, who knows? I don't know.
You're
I've never been
slightly
diagnosed.
odd, and I come out with the most random shit.
Well, there you are. That's because you're dyslexic.
I mean, when I text people, it's like I'll see a word and I'll go, yeah, that's the right word. And it's like police and polite. I have problems. I can't tell which is which. Or I'll get to a word and I don't see the word. I see X, Y, Z, W, Z, Z, and just
Yeah,
can't read
it's
it at
a job.
all.
So, but we make quite a nice pair, isn't it? So we decided to do me, my dogs, and MS on a. There we are. You got a couple of mics
Yeah,
and
we
a
did a
phone,
couple of
and we did it.
testers first just to see. So we did like with the mics on the iPhones and stuff, just to see. And I edit it, and we did a couple of them, and two of us are like, yeah, we got something here, I think.
Yeah,
And we got a couple of decent mics, and then that was it. We'd just go
there we
out
are.
and I'd carry my phone on a tripod until I fell over and nearly, was it broke, cracked, bruised several.
Bruise, whatever they hurt.
I fell backwards onto a log right on my side here, and it got to the point that I actually had to phone Paul and say, "Can you look after the dogs for a couple of days because I can't breathe?"
Yeah.
And that was
So
the
we did after that. We purchased a what's it called? A gimbal. Is
gimbal.
it
Yeah,
gimbal? Yeah,
yeah.
and so that it kind of follows me, so she doesn't, so you don't have to kind of walk backwards anymore. So so
But then
we're
it's
getting
with
there.
at the moment it's very much weather depending what the if it's raining or not. I know this sounds really boring, but if it's raining, I've got to use the tripod. So I've got to be very careful, especially when it's icy and I lost my chains. So I was doing that on the side of the path. So it was amazing neither of us went arse over tit.
I'm surprised actually. We're saying everyone to be careful, and it was like a skating rink. It was funny, that one. I look back and I think, oh dear, look at that. We're just a comedy duo, I tell you. But
But we didn't fall over. I have
but
caught
that's
you
true.
a couple of times.
But I think what's nice about it is that it comes across actually. We do have a real good friendship. We are up for a laugh, definitely up for a laugh, and
Mhm.
I think that kind of comes over on our videos, doesn't it?
I hope so. I mean, we don't take ourselves too seriously. We're just
Yeah,
trying
but
to,
also there is a light message there as well, and that because I don't want to preach to people because I don't want to be preached at myself,
but there's
but
also a love for the countryside and a love for Perthshire and around here. I mean,
and our dogs.
and yeah, I mean, I left Scotland for 20 years and I came back ooh, 12, 13 years ago. And Scotland was always home. It didn't matter how long I was in England, Scotland was always home. So I came back to Scotland and I live in a very small town that I can walk from my front door to the local corner shop without bumping into anybody at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. To me, that's perfect. I like that.
Yeah, but I think we just kind of work well together, and I think you understand how well I am or whatever, going up places and that. And you're very good at kind of pushing me on a little bit, because there's the Ailith Hill one where it really was painful.
I'm
Yes.
surprised you wanted. I'd gone up a couple of days, was it the week earlier, because it was such nice weather. And it took me about 45 minutes from the car park up to the very top. So I knew it'd be a bit longer, but I didn't realize it would get quite emotional. Because the thing is, as you're going up, it's not like this. It's got a flatness to it on the top of the hill. And then there's burns and little things, and you can't see. And all you
Yeah.
think about is, where's the bench? And of course, you pass the lights at New Year.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
menopause brain. They light up the hills round here. Anyway,
Yeah.
we passed that and the bench. I knew it's like Paul was like, how far? I went 10 minutes because I knew the bench was so far because I'd been, but yeah, that was an emotional one.
Yeah, but you're there on the journey wherever we are, which is quite good. We, and to get the message over of the flavour of Scotland and where we live, because I'm just as passionate as Suzanne, and I absolutely love where I live. I love being in nature, because being outside in nature in the sun, when we get the sun, we're a bit lacking on it at the moment, but when we get the sun in that, it just does so much for me on mentally and physically, and that is just the best. And if I can share that with everyone, and Suzanne helps me share it very well, you're brilliant. And I think there we are. So I think walking and talking and just doing what we normally do, Suzanne, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I don't listen to you. I listen to bits of it, but I don't really listen to you at all. I'm too focused on where you are. Am I moving? Am I moving too fast? And it's only when I get home and I start editing and then I'm listening to what is, and then I realize you've said that 3 times and I've got to take that out. Or a classic one is, so.
Yeah, I've got to stop saying so, or oh, isn't that beautiful? I'm very
Majestic,
repetitive.
magical. It's magical. It's like,
Yeah.
stop saying magical.
But there we are. So everyone, this is Suzanne. There we are, and hopefully we'll be doing lots more kind of conversations between us about all sorts of things, random things.
Well,
Probably maybe do
hopefully
this.
we're going to plan at the moment to do one every other week, just so we're not stressing out. Oh my God, we've got to do the video, we've got to do the podcast, because we are women of a certain age and we spent about what, 2 hours trying to set this up tonight.
I know it's taken us ages,
So
but
yeah, so probably every other week at the moment, and then once we get into the flow of things, we'll get Stoph on, we'll get Emma back, and we'll just see where it goes.
yeah, and yeah, and just to have a nice, gentle conversation about all sorts.
Yeah.
There we are, as we go along. So thank you for joining us tonight, or today on Me, My Dogs and MS podcast number 2, The Conversation, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next time. Bye, guys.
Please add a comment, give us a question. What do you want me to talk about? We will continue this and see where we go with this. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's just keep this conversation going.